Okay, we have the green bars, we have the live counter sticking up, so we should now be live, and we definitely weren't live for about a second yesterday, because I definitely didn't accidentally start a stream and then end it hurriedly. If you saw that, you're lying. But yeah,
Gen Alpha Orcs be like Skibbity Gandalf, Sauron's using Morgoth's language.
okay.
It would be Gen Alpha Hobbits, not Gen Alpha Orcs. Because we were doing something focused on orcs, so my mind immediately went to orcs, but it would be Gen Alpha Orcs, not Hobbits. Or Hobbits, not Orcs.
What the fuck is Skibbity Toilet?
It's a it's a web series that turned into a meme that sort of grew far beyond anything its creator could have ever dreamed of.
Ah, so your run-of-the-mill viral sensation then.
Yes. Uh, from what I can tell, the Skibbity Toilet web series itself is actually a pretty well made, sort of surrealist series with like an actual plot and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the word Skibbity has been appropriated by the masses to mean something. I'm not sure what it means exactly. It means either it's like sick,
Right.
where it means either bad or good or neither or both,
Great.
depending on
Great.
the context. It's a very contextual piece of slang.
Wonderful. I'm gonna stick to my old man ways and probably not use it, but, you know.
I try, especially because my favorite streamer is a 34-year-old man who somehow keeps up with the times. So like if and his so I strongly suspect, and he has also expressed a suspicion recently that he is on the autism spectrum. But here's the weird bit. I'm pretty sure his special interest is being a normal person.
Okay.
His special interest is being just a guy.
Mm.
He can also name every movie released between 1980 and 2010 and their entire cast, which is part of the argument for the spectrum
Mm.
thing. That's not exactly neurotypical behavior.
No, it's not especially.
But yeah, I'm on the subject of not exactly neurotypical behavior. What non-neurotypical behaviors that you didn't realize were non-neurotypical?
Uh, Let me think. I mean, my ability to, like, rush through a book is probably neurodivergent, a sign of something. And the fact that I did it to the exclusion of all else, including, you know, social
The
more.
hyper-focusing is definitely not. It's definitely on the neurodivergent side of things.
Mm. I mean,
I don't know.
loath that I
I've
am
never.
to, you know, mention the particular series, but there was a book that I fucking read in, I think, about a day, or while I was on fucking holiday of all things, and I just sat in my parents' car that entire day and just read this one book.
So you read it in one piece.
Yes, but the series is not as good as One Piece. Nowhere near.
Wait, what is the series that you don't want to mention?
It's Harry Potter. It was like the sixth Harry Potter book.
Mm, Listen, we all have our
Mm.
skeletons in the closet.
Also, whenever I would have to go to a function for my brother typically a like rugby related function, I would hide under a table or bench and read.
Yeah,
I feel like the
that's
writing
fair.
was on the wall from that point. I am also a very, very picky eater.
That one I don't think is exclusive to neurodivergent people.
Not
I actually
exclusive.
think more. I think more neurotypical people are picky eaters than neurodivergent people.
Hmm. Yeah, that was fun growing up with that, especially the teachers who thought I should be eating the things that I didn't want to eat because they made me throw up.
How about now?
I am better with some things, still bad with other things.
Like, what sort of flavor profiles are you able to handle now that you weren't in the past?
Um, I didn't eat pizza as a kid.
That's an interesting one.
Hmm. But part of it is that like the food group that fucks me the most is fucking fruit and veg, which is unfortunate for my health.
I have definitely gotten better about vegetation to the point that I'm like half vegetarian now, in the sense that I probably eat like a an even mix of purely vegetarian and non-vegetarian meals.
Hmm.
I don't understand how bell peppers are supposed to be a food for human consumption. Yay or nay?
I mean, you're not gonna get any argument from me, but I would say that about a lot of like fruit and veg. Just the smell of bananas makes me feel like I'm gonna throw up.
That's a weird one. That is definitely a weird one because bananas are some of the most, I would say, tame fruit.
Like I said, they just make me want to throw up.
Do you think it's because they're phallic?
No,
Trying
I have,
to
I have,
sideline,
I have no problem putting phallic things in my mouth.
trying to do a little sideline to Freud.
Isn't Freud a hack who's been discredited?
So the interesting thing about Freud, right? His basic obsession with, the mom stuff and
Yeah.
the general sex stuff, that has been completely discredited, yes.
Mhm.
The problem is it still necessitates being taught in every psychology class, because everything else he was basically like very good at. He invented the entire field of psychoanalysis, which is an actual field.
Yeah.
That has not been discredited. His specific ideas about it were definitely
Mhm.
discredited, but his technique and the general practices and like the general structure that he laid out are still in use to this day. So he's a complicated case where we will never be free of Floyd.
Yeah.
Floyd? Freud. The Floydian slip there, if you know what I'm saying.
Aha.
But yeah, I do want to be more able to interface with the viral memes because I don't want to ever reach a place where I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Right? Like my key here is I want to be able to understand what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really do that unless I know the
Yeah.
memes. So
Yeah,
it's a very
I gave up on it. I just knew that I was never going to be able to keep up. Not to mention, I had a sort of messy start with the meme language.
how so.
Well, for some reason, I took against it when my friends started saying AF instead of as fuck. I don't necessarily know why. It's not like it's
That does seem
particularly
like more of
bad.
a you problem.
Yeah, no, that was on me. That one was on me. And now I use AF a lot, so...
But like as some sort of compensation or
Compensation for what?
not using it in the
Oh, not
past.
used... No, no, no. As it turns out, it is just, you know...
Amen.
It can just be an easy fucking shorthand.
Uh, now, on the subject of shorthand, I've always wanted to develop my own shorthand, but I've realized my language skills aren't really good for it. And here's the funniest part about it. In all likelihood, what would happen if I tried to develop my own shorthand is I'd forget after developing it.
Yeah.
So it's like I would have to somehow decode it every time I remembered it.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I get the feeling you are like me in the sense that languages are not our strong suit.
It's complicated. Learning languages is definitely not my strong suit. I don't really have any strong suits. Most of my suits are from the bargain chains. Um, I say that as if I own more than one suit that doesn't even fit anymore because I bought it when I was a wee lad.
Mm. I don't know what's happened to my blazer, but I do have a like a button-up shirt and and suit trousers, and a Danganronpa tie. Even though I've never
I only
watched.
have button-up shirts.
Won't have to worry about alarms here anymore.
But
I don't
yeah,
like wearing. I don't like wearing t-shirts outside.
I wear nothing but t-shirts outside most of the time.
See, that's one area where we differ.
Mm.
I think another key area where we differ is I think I'm a bit more rigid when it comes to opinions.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be quite rigid, and then I realized quite a lot of, if not almost all of my opinions were wrong. And it was a real sort of, okay, well, I can't really afford to be stubborn if I'm going to be this wrong. There's also the people pleaser aspect in me. Not necessarily in the case of, you know, I'm willing to change my opinion to please somebody, but more in the case of, well, if I'm going to have a, you know, I used to not believe in climate change as a teenager.
Mm.
Yeah, it wasn't a good opinion.
Yeah. That's a not great one.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. First of all, I gleefully,
This necklace isn't hanging from some orc's neck.
well, the glee comes afterwards. The rigidity of my opinions is primarily in with regards to media properties. I don't really have rigid opinions on things that actually mean something.
Mm-hmm.
But I will gleefully say that the majority of my uh, media property opinions tend to be vindicated after the fact.
Some.
Scoff all you want. I liked Hell's Paradise before it was cool.
That's fair. I mean, I have some problems with Hell's Paradise, mostly to do with the bullshit of the fucking amnesia plot. In the middle of the series, or at some point in the series, like third in. Um, but I otherwise
Oh,
enjoyed the
I forgot
series.
about the amnesia.
Yeah, the first season ended with it, which is sort of why it's my big bugbear.
See, I mean, you say that. I was reading the manga as it came out.
Hmm. No, that's fair.
So,
I'm not disputing the fact that you absolutely got to Hell's Paradise before me. Though, when
no,
you
more like I was.
when you become a Kagurabachi fan, that's when I'll be crowing. I will be crowing at you all.
I mean, I'm sure it's good. Is it up to 100 chapters yet?
Not yet.
I'll start reading it when it hits 100.
Hmm.
No, I am absolutely certain that it's like good stuff.
Hmm.
It's just I don't know if I have room in my life to start new manga at this stage in my life.
That's fair.
Oh, speaking of starting new series, the reason I say manga specifically is because manga takes me more time to read.
Hmm.
Because you have to process images, and you know how visual processing is.
Genuinely, I am the complete opposite. But that's a large part of that is because I do actually just sort of I skim through pages. So I will probably miss like visual little bits, but yeah, I do get through it a lot quicker as a result.
Yeah, with me,
Are you
I
still
can't
alive?
skim. I don't skim in general.
Hmm.
Generally, what am I?
Hmm.
I'm just saying nonsense words now. Um, I try not to skim when possible, though it can't be avoided a lot of the time. Do you know what I find myself skimming past in a lot of stuff?
What?
Fight scenes.
Yeah.
I think I've reached a point in my life where the fight scenes I imagine in my head are just more interesting to me than the fight scenes that are on page.
Hmm.
So I tend to skim through the fight scenes a lot. No, the thing I was gonna say is that I read much quicker when it's just text,
Hmm.
All too rare in these
and as a
times.
result, my
Grace is lost on the denizens.
I've always been a volume consumer rather than a mainly because I'm a filter feeder in many ways.
Filter feeder?
I'm like a filter feeder.
What would that be?
Like a majestic whale.
Nope.
So you know how baleen whales, they just swallow a massive mouthful of water, and then what they and then they basically just filter out krill and then just spit out what the rest of the water.
Somewhat.
That's me with media, except instead of krill, it's good cooking.
So you just sort of almost work by the law of averages. You just read so much that you have
I'm
no
bound
choice
to
but to
find some
find
good
it.
stuff.
Yeah, no choice but to find
Yeah.
the good stuff.
Yes. I mean, it's worked for me so far. I found some of the some really good stories that way.
Oh, that's fair.
I've also been thinking, you know how we started that little ADHD Task Manager channel, which you should get in on?
I don't think it's going to be very good for me. Well, not to mention I sort of already have stuff working on that anyway.
How so?
Well, I already set up alarms for a lot of what I do, so it's honestly fine. Either that or I would be spamming it literally every day to try and get me to watch anime.
Would you consider being a reminder rather than a remindee?
I mean, I can, yeah. I mean, I'll still be in the channel and still, doing what I can.
Yeah, because,
No, I'll definitely still be in the channel.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is but do you know what I think would be helpful to a lot of us to explore outside of our comfort zones? Is we need to start a book club.
Alright.
And then here's how I want to format it. A book club where once a week we each read a single chapter or a handful of chapters of a series each member of the club recommends. It has to be very small, right? It has to be a 4-person club at most, or we have to have a rotating set of people. But I feel like the greatest weakness of our people, and by our people I mean the mentally ill. Well, okay, I can't say the greatest weakness. We have a lot of weaknesses.
Yeah.
As the mentally ill. One of our more annoying weaknesses, in my opinion, is our general difficulty with consuming media outside of our comfort zones. And in general, consuming media that has been recommended to us.
Yeah. I still haven't read Trash of the Count's Family.
And I am not pressuring you to. Besides, if we were to do the book club, I would actually recommend something else. Trash of the Count's Family is more of a personalized to you recommendation. The recommendation I'd have for the book club is something that is just a very fun series that I feel like a lot of people should read. Which is funny. It's a series that brings me great joy and great pain because It has one of the worst names for what is a series that has, in my opinion, cradle levels of quality.
Oh.
Which it's a Chinese web novel, so
Hmm.
it's I am loaded with passive skills.
Right.
Awful name.
Hmm.
Awful name. Very generic premise. Sudden Isekai gets a system to do it, but as we've discussed, tropes are tools,
Yeah.
and boy does it execute.
No, I mean even the most generic of series can be, or most generic in terms of, starting points can turn out to be very good. I mean, look at Black Clover.
Yeah, and the thing about the series I'm referring to is that, first of all, it's very Cradle-esque in that the protagonist is a little goblin.
All right. Literal goblin
Like,
or
metaphorically. No,
metaphorical?
metaphorically goblin. Like a very Linden-esque metaphorical little goblin a gremlin, if you will.
Right.
Uh, and generally has to punch up. Like, fighting above his level.
Yeah.
Generally. So it's a very fun series that I would recommend. Any fan of Cradle would probably enjoy it. It's just getting people to read it
Yeah.
is like the fifth circle of hell.
Hmm.
Speaking of circles of hell,
Oh
how
boy.
are you feeling about the Dresden Files?
Um, I'm not sure. I haven't reread it for a while. In part because the last couple of times that I've listened to the audiobooks, I have gotten a little tired of the constant sex. Or
Right. Well, there's not really so much constant sex as it is horniness.
yeah, constant horniness is more accurate.
It's one of those awkward things where it might be better if the writing was a bit worse.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Uh,
Like, in the
yeah,
sense that in the sense that it's very less realistic, let's say,
yeah,
because it's very realistic because these are Harry's personal journals, and he is a horny mofo.
hmm,
Like, and Butcher leans into that a little too well.
yeah.
Like, what got you?
Um, I mean, there wasn't anything in particular that got me. I can't even remember. To be fair, actually, it might have even been re-listening to I think it was Captain's Fury, and realizing that the Dresden books are even hornier. Like my last re-listen through Codex Alera, I basically skipped every single one of the like fucking Bernard and Amara romance scenes.
You now feel my pain.
I still disagree with you in terms of Amara as a character, but yeah, I definitely skipped all those scenes. Though I don't feel like we should probably relitigate those opinions on Amara as a character, because I mean, you said earlier that you're stubborn when it comes to media opinions, and this is very much a media opinion.
Yes, your point being.
It would be pointless, is my point.
I mean, he's right, but he shouldn't say it.
No, I killed my own guy. Oh well. But yeah, so yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I
I
obviously have my favorites of the books, and I still love, the characters in the world. At this point, I do just need sort of the next book to come out for me to get back into it as a series. Which
Dresden or
Dresden.
Alara?
Dresden. Oh, Dresden. Codex Alera I'm still into as a series. It's just I have to skip those parts. Which, fine. I'll do it. They're not, huge parts.
These supplies are bound for the west, for Gondor eventually. We need to make sure they get there.
No level of horniness is going to get me to completely issue Tavi's clever bastardness.
Codex Alara is really why we like Cradle so much, isn't it?
I mean, it's probably a decent starting point, yeah.
Because we needed something to fill the Tavi-shaped hole in our hearts.
Yeah.
And then now we have a Linden-shaped hole in our hearts, because Linden is just... Listen. I'm gonna say something controversial.
Mm.
I think he's better. Well, okay. They're good in different ways. Overall, I think I like Linden more. But... it's like... they have their... Like, for example, Linden is definitely more boring.
Okay.
Than Tavi, but he's more... When we're reading about him being a goblin, it's more entertaining for me than with Tavi.
Yeah.
But he's definitely a more boring person in general.
I mean, I would also say that I think they ended up taking different paths, even though they started at a similar point of being goblins. Because Tavi sort of went to the more traditional route of, I don't know, like, I'd argue Tavi stopped necessarily cheating and just more used his intelligence to get ahead, whereas Lyndon never stopped cheating if he could.
No, that's really... It's not even that he stopped... it's not even that Tavi stopped cheating. He just stopped needing to cheat as much.
Yeah.
Because he just got strong. Whereas Lyndon was like, okay, I got strong,
but
why does that mean I stopped cheating?
Yeah, look, if I can win just a little bit easier, I might as well.
Which is why Lyndon is my role model until he settled.
And hey, look, I've got all these cool Dread God weapons that I could use to vaporize people. Why wouldn't I use them? By the way, we should be getting that short stories anthology for Cradle at some point, relatively soon.
We should, huh? I don't know. I don't know that I'm that interested in it anymore.
How so? How come?
Or rather, I'd like more stuff. Because, like, it'll depend on the timeline and when it is set, because the end of the series had such a vast upheaval for the characters in the world
Yeah.
that I'm not really interested in stories set before that anymore. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I want to see what happened after that happened, not just more stories from before it happened.
Mm-hmm. No, I get you.
And while I'm sure we'll get a mix of both, I don't know. I'm just Cradle was pretty close to giving me exactly what I wanted.
But it didn't.
Well, no, because no one can give me exactly what I want except me.
And even then,
If I
sometimes you
want-
can't.
Well, in my case, can't is more a function of not being able to write properly.
No, that's more what I mean. Even when you have this like perfect idea in your head, sometimes you just can't execute it exactly the way you want to.
Oh, I'm not talking about my execution. I'm talking again strictly volume-wise.
Ah.
I write too slowly to execute all the ideas I want. No, but like, it was it was very close to giving me exactly what I want. I can appreciate genuinely why White ended the series where he did.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I get it. I appreciate it, and I understand it, and I realize that it might not have ended as well if not there.
Yeah.
That said, part of it is me misunderstanding the premise, and part of it is also expectations from reading a lot of Zhanja or Shansha. I don't know how to pronounce the X when it's transliterated from Chinese.
Speaking of,
I think it's just pronounced as an H. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of Crunchyroll, you fucking well better put up Thunderbolt Fantasy Season 4.
Taiwanese mother frickin' puppets. I'm not the biggest fan of Giga, but that he was cooking with that one.
No, it was. It's fucking true. Taiwanese motherfucking puppets. It is genuinely one of the best series I've watched.
It's one of the best battle shonen series in like the past decade or so.
Yeah.
It's just a good series overall. Also, I'm pretty sure that shit is Zhanja. Or Shansha.
Yeah, no, it is.
Or Wuxia.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I think it's Wuxia.
Which is why I want you to read more of that. Because you would love it.
I probably would, but I have trouble starting new things. I'm sorry.
I really want us to sit down and, like, can we read together? Can we just have a stream where we read together?
I think we'd have to work something out, but, you know, to make it a little bit more entertaining for viewers.
I will read it to you. I will read the stories to you. I'll do voices and everything, even though I'm not good at it.
You don't need to go that far.
I know, but, like, you know, we both have mental illness. In my case, the mental illness is not feeling at ease unless I share this thing I like with one of my only friends in the world, and in your case, the mental illness is not being able to start something even when you know you'll probably enjoy it a great deal.
Yeah.
This is... No, but, like, I don't know how to pronounce the X.
Yeah.
It's just, like, someone needs to... It doesn't help that, like, I saw a thing on Reddit about a
Well, there's the first problem.
sentence. Well, no, it was not native to Reddit, but it was a repost of an actual Chinese person explaining in a, I think it was a TikTok. There's
There's
an
your
actual
second
Chinese
problem.
person. Listen, you can like you watch the stuff Gen post. You know
Occasionally,
that
that's the most I get into TikTok. I
yes,
stick to the
I know.
I stick to the OGs. I stick to Instagram and YouTube Shorts.
Okay, you can't say YouTube Short is an OG. YouTube Short was ripping off TikTok.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, you have to admit that as cooked as the uh platforms are, that doesn't mean all the media on them is bad.
No, I can't blame
Um,
the people on them for the media. I can't blame the people on them for the platform's shittiness.
yeah.
Well, not entirely. I can blame the shitty ones on that.
Yes.
There is calculation in
I mean, we stream on Twitch,
Yeah,
right? We really should not.
I'm still on Twitter.
Yeah, you are.
That might be
chewing.
coming to an end relatively soon, depending on what Musk does. If Musk actually fucking goes through with this stupid block thing, then I think there's gonna be a absolute
Isn't
mass
the block
exodus.
thing?
Oh, it's illegal. Like, it's against the terms of
Yeah.
service for both the Google Play Store and the Apple Store.
But no, the video was an actual Chinese person showcasing a sentence consisting of 7 different Chinese words with a coherent meaning, where each word has the exact same spelling and pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many homonyms.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I don't know how to translate, right? Like especially because my default with X has always been the Z sound,
Yeah.
but I've recently had to come to terms with the fact that it's an SH sound.
Mm-hmm.
And because the character of that series I really like, his name starts with an SH. Or with an X, I've been pronouncing his name with a Z the entire time.
Yeah.
And now I have to try and recalibrate my brain, and my brain does not want to be recalibrated because why would it?
Yeah. No, it can be difficult getting into that habit. Or getting into a new habit in general. I mean, you can see that by the fact that despite, and I'm including some of our friends in this, despite, people can watch a lot of anime and still pronounce fucking Japanese names wrong. And put the emphasis on the wrong parts of the name.
I can somewhat sympathize with that, if only because of the fact that pronunciation is hard when you don't have the muscle memory for it, because it is a physical thing, right? Pronunciation is a physical thing that requires your body to have the muscle memory for it.
This may also be just another kind of, my neurodivergence kicking in, because I'm a repeater.
How so?
Like when when things are said sometimes, I will repeat it back constantly.
Yeah, that's a neurodivergence coming out that I don't share. I don't like speaking aloud.
Mm.
Shocking, I know, considering the fact that I'm trying to make a career out of yapping. But genuinely, I don't like speaking aloud the vast majority of the time.
Yeah.
And as a result, it sounds right in my head. And then I get self-conscious when I try and say it out loud. And because the muscle memory is there, my mouth doesn't move in the way I want it to.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
that
mean,
leads into a vicious cycle of me not wanting
yeah.
to say the word, because which
Again,
leads to me not practicing, which leads to me not being able to pronounce the word correctly.
yeah. Another case where we differ, because when I'm at home alone, I'm constantly talking aloud to myself. I do not like, internal thoughts.
Why think in head when think with mouth do trick?
I apparently work better when it's some kind of a conversation.
Yeah, it doesn't help that I can't really speak without someone to talk to, and I don't have anyone to talk to on a general basis.
I mean, again, for decent chunks of my childhood, I didn't have many people to talk to. So again, it just sort of became, right, I'm gonna do it myself. Fine, I'll do it
Childhood?
myself.
I'm still there, brother.
Outnumber your enemies. I fight.
Yeah, so because of my inability to properly speak out loud, can I just say something?
Yeah.
I am keenly looking forward to when the AI bubble pops.
Yep. No. Very much so. It is increasingly frustrating. That these companies, not just companies, to be fair, people in general are just like buying into this bullshit, and it is bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. But
They
it's
do be glazing it way too much.
you know, especially as two people trying to get into the fucking publishing industry, or at least
It's just like, of all of the things you could use artificial intelligence for, why use it for the thing it's worst at?
yeah.
It's literally the freaking worst at this one, at being creative, and yet that is what people use it for.
Yeah.
This frustrates me to no end. Use it for like protein folding or something. Something that human beings are physically incapable of doing but need done.
hmm No, I
Why
mean,
use it for one thing that
yeah,
that human beings can do that other things can't?
yeah. No, it's it is like that one fucking thing that was like, I don't want AI writing, the fucking stories I read. I want AI to be doing stuff like fucking like the benign stuff, the boring stuff. I like writing. I like drawing. Stop trying to take that away from me. But that's the stuff that, you know, fucking corpos can't do. Because they have no creativity. So
So
that's the stuff they're pushing, because they want to feel fucking special.
so this is a discussion I should probably save for a Gen stream. You know, when he's back.
Mhm.
But the root of all evils is capitalism.
Yep.
And
Something else I had to learn and change my mind on.
And here is one sort of non-linear. This is perhaps more of a not flattering but more sympathetic take than you are comfortable with. But there exists a clade of AI users who are not AI bros or tech bros, and who are not necessarily obnoxious. Do you know who they are?
Who?
You trying to kill me?
The
Gonna take more than that, you nugget insect.
relatively underprivileged who are still enough who can still afford to use the technology. And here is why. Everyone wants to consume media.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more with the AI art stuff. The AI writing is really inconsolable. It's indefensible is the word I'm looking for, because AI just doesn't write well.
No.
Now AI doesn't necessarily draw well, but it draws competently. And here's my postulation.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who have a desire to consume art who can't afford to pay for commissions.
That's fair.
So for them, what are they supposed to do to consume the art they want? And that is why the root of all evil is capitalism. Because they're using AI because they can't afford art. I'm convinced this is...
Counterpoint.
Uh-huh.
I am also in that bracket. I am not using AI.
No, I know. But, like, that is more of a personal preference thing. In the sense that you are not
I don't see it that way. Because there are series that I would desperately love fan art for. And they don't get it because they just aren't popular. But again, I'm not going out into a fucking AI art generator and not even creating that fan art, generating that fan art.
But what I'm saying is some people just are more desperate. Like, I don't think I understand it. Or rather, I don't necessarily... Like, it's not a position I find myself in. But I somewhat understand that the position exists. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that sense, I am...
Like,
but again,
I get it.
That one thing is not enough to save the medium.
No. And the point is, you know, unless you are actually, you know, creating the, like, I don't know what the term is for it, but, you know, unless the images that the generation is based on are all yours, you are stealing from somebody.
That is the thing, isn't it?
Mm. And the other thing is, AI generation in general is incredibly
Awful for the environment.
Yeah, it's horrible for the environment. It's incredibly energy intensive, and is, at a time when we are quite literally on the precipice of,
I have some news for you.
is it good news? Because if it's not good news, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, well, I don't have any news for you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's just such a waste
I mean, here's the thing:
of like
there are places
time and
using,
resources.
there are places that using AI as it should be used, as not
The
not
science is
creating the whole thing. Scientists are using it. There are animation studios who are using it in a way that it should and can
Right,
be
putting
used, because
games
they're
that-
doing
yeah.
it to make the fucking
the tedium.
the tedium and time intensive stuff, instead of the whole fucking thing. That's what and obviously we shouldn't be using it as a entirely positive example because of how shit the production was, but that's what the Spider-Verse team did with Across the Spider-Verse.
I'm glad I didn't go to watch that movie because I heard it ends on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, no,
which
you
may or may
would not like that as a result of the cliffhanger thing. You are so much better off waiting for the for the fucking next one.
Spider-Verse Part
Yeah.
2.
Because you would have hated that cliffhanger. I'm not entirely happy about the cliffhanger, to be brutally honest, but yeah. Corpos be corpos.
Yeah, it's just like the purpose, like the reason artificial intelligence research in that way started was for the sciences. Why? Who decided we shift to art? Why?
Again,
Why do that?
tech bros who can't make art and want to feel like artists. Well, that's what it is. They are jealous of actual artists.
I didn't know that was a thing that existed.
I mean, hey,
Like,
I am envious of artists. I do not have an artistic bone in my body in that sense. I just do not have the brain for it. And I'm sure I could get to a level where the art I produce would probably be, at least half decent. But it would take so fucking long and so much time and effort that I can't do that. I don't have the attention span. I don't have the time in the day to do it. And, as a general rule, I'm just better at the writing thing.
Yeah, I just don't with the art thing.
I think I have a sword that
Like,
can actually damage me.
I wanted to
Yeah.
initially, but I just realized it's a cost benefit thing,
Yeah.
right?
And again,
The amount
I
of
genuinely
time
think
I would have.
I genuinely think I could do it, because there was a time where I actually did like 2 pretty minor drawings of, what was it? One was Tokuyami, and one was Mob from Mob Psycho. And I think they were actually all right.
I also used to trace anime characters, and by trace I mean like by eye, not like on paper.
No, that's what I did. That's what I did with these 2 pictures. Basically, I just had a picture in front of me and copied.
I had a picture of it. I would trace by eye, and I could do it pretty well. And the thing about art is a lot of it is technique, right?
Yeah.
Technique can be learned. But what I've realized is it's a cost-benefit thing.
Yeah.
The amount of time and energy I would have to invest in becoming good enough at art to do the things I wanted to do is disproportionately higher than what I can afford if I also want to do other things.
Yeah.
So
And here's the thing. Unfortunately, we do live in a capitalist society, and I do not believe that I would ever be able to get, my art to a point where, it could be
it's a career.
monetized. I
Yeah,
have to.
that's a genuine possibility with the writing. With the art, no.
Even the fucking writing is going to be difficult.
Difficult, but not like as impossible.
No. But yeah, it also didn't help that when I was a kid, I did actually start doing some drawing stuff by tracing. Which, if you talk to any like decent artist, they will say, yeah, no, that's a legitimate way to, get started and to actually do this stuff. No, I got told that was fucking pointless and that I was cheating art. So yeah, that was fun. I did not like that after school club. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah, I had a similar experience whereby writing was kind of writing classes, not writing itself, but writing classes were kind of not made a bit unpleasant for me in many ways because the one writing class I took in grade 12 was not ideal.
Yeah, and honestly, I was very lucky in that because how I got my start writing was through a writing club when I was I don't know what the Canadian grade term would be, but I was like
What year was it?
I think I was year 5. So I think I was like 9 or 10 maybe.
That would be grade 5, yes.
Yeah.
Grade 4 or 5.
And I will always have a soft spot in my heart for the teacher who ran that, Mr. Robert Rouse. Not just because he had so many funny stories about kids getting his name wrong, calling him Mr. Robot House and all that, but the fact that he was basically just like, look, don't worry about grammar, don't worry about spelling, just write. Write something you want to write. Write something you enjoy writing. Don't worry about the technical side of it. Just, do it and enjoy it. And, I wrote some absolute fucking derivative ass plagiarizing shit in that club. But it was fun. I liked writing my version of Codex Alera, damn it.
Yeah, it's just So here's the thing, right? I don't want to say I blew my chance at mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that is unfair to myself, and I've tried to be a bit more fair to myself of late. I don't think I blew my chance at mentorship, but the prime time for mentorship for me was high school. Right? For a lot of people, that is the time when mentorship is most likely to stick.
Yeah.
And the problem is that I was not in a place in terms of my mental health and well-being where I was able to engage
Yeah.
with potential mentors enough to warrant mentorship.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think like I said, I give off, because I'm pretty good at masking, I give off an air of being much more functional than I am.
Mm.
But I am functionally non-functional, if you'll pardon my alliteration.
Yeah.
In that there are probably healthier people than me in mental institutions. And I do not mean that as a sort of, I'm not trying to pity farm or trying to underplay or overplay my suffering or the issues of others. I'm just saying that as a relatively sober observation, that's the sort of place I'm in.
Mm.
And I was worse in high school.
Yeah.
And so I kind of lost the opportunity for mentorship. And like, I know we were talking about how, yes, life doesn't end at 30, right?
Mm.
Like, life keeps going, and we're still relatively young, and we have chances and opportunities. The issue then is that I am or is that it becomes much harder to connect with people as
Mm.
you get older. Not because of lack of trying, but because of lack of opportunity.
Yeah.
And the thing is, while, again, life does not end after 30 or like in your late 20s, but things like opportunities for mentorship do go down tangibly. Because to most people, it's more worth their time
Mm-hmm.
to mentor someone
Younger.
younger
Mm.
and with more overt potential.
Mm. Well, there's an assumption that if you are truly talented, you would have been picked up earlier, which is not necessarily true.
Yeah, it's one of the most frustrating assumptions uh, in that particular school of thought, and it's just like that's not because that's not how it works. Like, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes, like with you, you weren't necessarily in the place to, be able to be discovered in that sense. Some people get started later in life. I said that I got started writing when I was fucking 9 or 10. When I went to high school, I stopped writing recreationally until I was like 15 or 16 when English class was just so boring to me and a couple of friends that we just started writing stuff. And that started me writing again, and then I stopped again because the exercise book that I was writing a fucking story in just went missing, which is still annoying because I have absolutely no idea where the fuck it went.
Did someone steal it and then turn the story into a best-selling novel that they then proceeded to get rich off of?
Unlikely. It was a fucking again. It was relatively plagiarized, so somebody might have gotten sued because of it.
Yeah, that's a comforting thought, isn't it? If someone did steal it, then they probably
They didn't make
lost
it.
their life.
Yeah, but and then it was a case of I went on a rugby tour to Australia when I was 16ish, and on the plane ride over, it was a fairly significant plane ride, as you can imagine. I read a bunch of the fucking, what was it, Dragon Age like novels.
Dragon Age book. Yes, no, I've read the result of that.
Yeah, and I got inspired and I just wrote like a short little scene, and then the more I was thinking about it, I was more like, I want to try and write something with this. Unfortunately, at the time, again, this was when I was in year 11. I hadn't discovered anime yet, and so my main point of reference was in terms of fantasy stuff. That sort of fantasy stuff was unfortunately Gurm. So it was like, I'm going to create this realistic dark fantasy story. It's going to be great. When it wasn't, it really wasn't. And then as I was kept writing it, I got into anime. I was like, I want my unrealistic anime bullshit fights. Little difficult to piece both of those together, as it turns out.
It's not. It's difficult to piece together. It's not out of the question to do it.
I think I actually managed to do it in the end. As I got closer to the end of that, I actually managed to do okay with it. And honestly, it's so interesting actually reading that in full, because I can see myself start getting better and better. Like my first 2 or 3
There's
chapters.
something magical about that, yeah.
My first 2 or 3 chapters fucking suck. They are short and they just aren't very good. I go back and actually read my most recent chapters. I genuinely like them. I actually enjoy reading them. Like there is one chapter that is like 8,000 or 9,000 words long that I think is genuinely one of the best things I've written. It would be involving the characters that you wondered whether they were fucking. And
the answer was yes, right?
Retroactively, because of you, yes, they are. They did fuck.
Ah.
They aren't fucking right now, but they did fuck. And at some point, I want to go back to that and actually rework it into something that can actually, work and get published. Because as it is right now, it can't get published.
Was it 2 dudes or 2 ladies, or was it like, I forget the genders of the characters involved?
They were both male.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, the point is that they were best friends who hadn't seen each other for like 20 years because they thought they'd been betrayed. And yeah, there was a certain amount of homoerotic energy there that I did not understand when I first started writing it. Again, when I started writing this, I was also significantly less progressive than I am now.
That's fair.
So, significantly less experienced with queer media.
No, that makes sense.
One of those characters would probably also be fucking somebody else. I don't know. I'd have to work on that.
I'm less of a fan of that. You know me, I'm like, every romance must be wholesome and monogamous, strictly, for life.
Mm.
Everyone should just be like a Canada Goose. I actually don't know if Canada Geese are monogamous.
Mm.
Probably aren't. They're little freaks.
But yeah, at some point
Monogamous though.
What was that?
Which is interesting. A lot of birds are monogamous. Like they mate for life.
Yeah.
God, I wish there hadn't been apparently there was something happened that I forget what it was, but it decimated Toronto's crow population and it's never recovered since.
Oh, that sucks. I like crows.
Yeah, crows are the best. I want to befriend my own murder.
Mm. You just need to basically start leaving food for them, and they'll get into that habit.
Yeah, but the problem is they just aren't in the area.
Oh, yeah, you were just saying that Canada's crow population got
not
decimated.
Canada's, just
Toronto.
my city specifically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So because my city's crow population was basically devastated,
Mm.
which I think it was a natural thing. I don't think it was necessarily a human-made thing. Though if it was a human-made thing, I'd be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there just aren't enough crows to. At least they don't live in my area,
Yeah.
and as a result, I'm very sad.
Mm.
I will say, my duck with a knife appellation is not entirely unfounded, considering the fact that the Canada geese tend to have like a soft spot for me.
Mm.
I don't know why exactly, but they never hiss at me.
Hmm.
They're very friendly generally. Perhaps they recognize a kindred spirit. Vicious, spiteful, and full of impotent rage.
I do not fear the orcs.
Have you played Untitled Goose Game?
Will admit this. I fear their
No, but I feel like if I play it, it'll awaken something in me.
So the orcs have musicians among them. Hardly. Uruks are made for warfare.
I feel like we should have you play it on stream at some point. It would be funny.
There's a lot of. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we should be like doing on stream? Because it's like we did mean to talk about it, and while we do need Jack for the main conversation, we can like lay out some
No, I think
basic.
I think we can wait. It's fine. I don't think it's necessarily something we should do on stream.
I mean, does it matter that much? The whole separation of stream and state.
Hmm. I mean, we're also in a bit of a not great position in terms of my schedule is going to change massively in for the better, but it is going to change massively in the coming month or so.
And then isn't it going to change back after that at some point, or?
Unlikely at this stage.
Okay, that's good then.
Again,
yeah, my schedule is...
I will talk about it off stream, but yes.
Yeah. I also have similar scheduling things that I'll talk about off stream. But, how long have you been going?
1 hour, 18 minutes.
Yeah, so
It feels like we've been going longer.
It does, doesn't it? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing.
But, yeah, I'm glad that I have somehow retroactively willed gay sex into existence.
Like I said, I at some point I will rewrite that, and at that point I will make it a lot more obvious. To be fair, that chapter that I was talking about that was like 8,000 words I was really proud of, I'm fairly sure it like ended with the third character in that trio, like, well, of the two characters that you thought were fucking, like, having a pretty, you know, nice and deep moment, and then the third character in the trio going, and kiss? Which, you know, yeah. I was sort of asking for...
It was a joke at the time.
I'm asking for that, you know, fucking interpretation at that point. But yeah, I would need to rework it significantly because there's just plot elements of it that I'm just not happy with. Partially in part because I've just been, again, I'm so much more progressive. I'm so much more almost radicalized now. I don't think I could, in good faith, write what I was originally planning.
Oh no, you were gonna have a Gurm ending?
Not even necessarily a germ ending, but it's just like, well, like one of the main characters is on the sort of like fucking,
He's a cop.
yeah, he's a cop, he's a Templar, you know, and yeah, I don't think I can write that.
You tried to add me to your kill count. Instead,
This is the third time you've come back, you bastard. Stay dead.
Isn't that the entire appeal of this game?
I know, but it's annoying that I've killed him twice in this stream alone.
Have I ever told you the tale of Ushbaka
Plagius
the
the Wise.
Undying?
Sorry, I had to do it.
Similar. Yes, no. I was setting it up. Ushbaka the Undying.
No, I don't think so. Oh, good. One
was
of them
in
randomly
college.
died.
It was in college. I went to a person's house, or well, not their house, their dorm room, because they were they invited me and my friend over to their dorm room. Like it was a little dorm party thing.
Yeah.
And one of the features is that they were playing Shadow of Mordor, and it had just recently come out at the time, I think.
It was style at the time.
As was the style at the time. And they basically just killed a random orc. He came back, so they killed him again, came back again, and repeated, like, he came back like 6 times over the course of less than an hour. I kid you not, and by the 6th time, he was so powerful that they started dying to him. Just the same, just one orc. They killed him in every way, with arrows, with stabbing. They shoved a sword through his skull and out the other side. And he just kept on coming back. So yeah, that's a core memory for me for some reason. I think I understand the concept. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I mean, I was just gonna say, sometimes you just remember dumb, stupid stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I understand conceptually the idea of core memories because I have a lot of them
Yeah.
where you just remember stuff that you really have no idea why you remember that thing in particular, but you do. And it just never leaves your mind, and it lives rent-free in your head. And I don't know, I kind of love it and also hate it. Because on the one hand, they tend to be funny memories.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't like that I don't have control over it. There are things that I want to remember that I don't, and then there's things that I really don't want to remember that I do. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, why do this to me, brain?
Yeah. Speaking of, I don't think this necessarily counts as a core memory, but it's something that I always get reminded of, and it's always funny to me. Do you know the show or the anime/manga series Teppen?
What now?
Teppen. It's like this fucking series. It's like cute girls do what is it, like manzai comedy, I think it is.
No, then I'm not familiar with it.
Well, I watched it in the season that it came out, which was summer 2022, I want to say. Really enjoyed it. I think it, like, got runner-up for me that season. I can't remember. But there was one particular, like, segment in it where there were these... Because basically the concept was there were these... there was this comedy competition, and it was open to basically, instead of the usual, like, what is it, like, Bokeh and Sukomi, is that what it is? Yeah.
Yes,
like pair
that's what it
dynamic. It was a trio dynamic instead.
Okay.
And so there were these groups of, like, 3 girls to each group, and there was, like, 6 groups or something like that. All living in the same, like, dorm accommodation as they were preparing for this competition. And 2 of these girls...
Were they banging?
No. Maybe, but I don't know. High schoolers probably shouldn't go into it too much.
Did they kiss?
No.
Lame.
Yeah, I know. Anime industry is cowards. We know that. But yeah, there was these 2 girls who had basically the same, either the same birthday or had birthdays at the same time, and they'd been annoying.
I thought you were gonna say or the same death day for a second, and I was like, okay.
And they'd been annoying their teammates. I think it was the same day, but they'd been annoying their teammates about, reminding them, oh, it's going to be my birthday soon. You really hoping I get a present, sort of thing. To the point where they got threatened with punishment if they brought it up again. So on their birthday, they were trying all these, like, oblique methods to remind their teammates, hey, it's my birthday. And one of the girls fucking called up her mum and was like, hey, mum, isn't there something you'd like to say to me today? Hint, hint. And the mum was like, oh, yeah, I remember now. Your father's leaving me. And just... it's
good.
just like, what? And obviously, her teammates go, we should leave. This is a private conversation. And they just walk away. Turns out the dad was just, like, getting way too into an idol or something like that. I can't remember the exact circumstances.
Oh, that's even worse.
But, like, that gag lives in my brain now. Like, in the toilet at work, it's got one of those, like, fucking hand wash guides of, oh, you've got to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds or the length of happy birthday or whatever. And whenever I see happy birthday, all I can think of is that fucking gag. Your father's leaving me. It lives in my brain now. It lives in my brain. So yeah, I don't know whether that can be considered a core memory or not, but that is something I am forever remembering now.
That does seem like it's one of. It definitely seems like it qualifies as a core memory.
But yeah, I just can't get it out of my head now in the best way possible. I'm always happy when I remember it.
Oh, 1 second. I'll be right back.
No worries, I'm just gonna explode some shit. Because, hey, I can. Oh good, that did catch them. I mostly just love this game for my ability to just fucking go around causing mayhem. It's a little harder to do in this game, but in the first one, in Shadow of Mordor, I would literally, like, at some point I've got to... I think I'd have to re-download it onto my PS4, but I would literally just, like, gather a massive group of enemies around me and just, like, kill them all. I would just stand there and I would just parry, and I would strike back and do executions and all that stuff. They've made it that harder to do in this game because of the shield enemies are a lot more annoying. The fucking spear enemies are a lot more annoying. Hey, friend. But you can still do it to a certain extent. I've done it a couple of times in this stream. Hi, friends. You didn't see me. But yeah, what? If I didn't give Tepen top spot in summer 2022, what did I give top spot would be the... Oh, it was Licorice Recoil. Yeah, it was second. It was second. Because Licorice Recoil definitely won. I'm almost certain of that. There's like absolutely no way Licorice Recoil didn't come first for me. Speaking of, the manga adaptation of that is coming to the West, and Yen Press, the licensor, distributor, whatever, listed it as Yuri. So, you know, they know what's up. Spear-throwing enemies are forever my bane. I hated them in Dragon Age 2 as well. Those fucking Kunari who just launch spears at you. Not fun. Not fun at all. It's just intel. I was hoping it was a guy, but it wasn't. Alas, it was not. Oh, this Harry Potter-ass motherfucker. Better not call me a mudblood. He saw too much, in that he saw the briefest glimpse of me and may have spotted me, but probably didn't. He did nothing. Some point I will progress the story of this game, but like I said, for now I'm happy enough just doing this. That's right, run. Ah, damn it, I set on fire. Oh! He turned up. Oh! Is the fire still going? Can I detonate that fire? God damn it, that's irritating. Let me... Hey buddy, come over here. No, you don't. Come over here, buddy. Come over here. You really want to come over here, don't you? I'm on fire as well, but it's worth it. He's gonna burn to death. He burned to death real quick. He was very flammable. Did they get a fucking flag off? Or are they just pissed that I killed that boss? Might be that they're just pissed I killed that boss.
Is that guy about to flag off?
I mean, I thought I stopped the flag, which is an annoying new mechanic in this game compared to the first one, but they got pissed at me anyway. It might have had something to do with me setting their leader on fire and burning him to death.
Yeah, that'll do that.
I don't think they took that one well.
Well, actually, would orcs care that much?
Some of them do and some of them don't. Like, when you kill, like, an orc leader, sometimes, some of them just run, and then some of them do just genuinely get, like, super pissed about it.
Yeah, it's... Okay. You want me to? No, I'm not gonna go there. But anyway,
It must have been bad if
on
you're
the
not going there, considering the places
on
you've
the
gone to before.
on the subject of hobbits, right?
Right.
We know that at least in Bree, hobbits and humans have boned down.
Right.
What do you think other? And we know that hybrids are a thing. What do you think other hybrids would look like? Even the more impossible ones.
I mean, an elf and a dwarf would surely look like the prettiest short stack you've ever seen.
It could go the other direction.
The ugliest tall person you've ever seen?
Yeah, kind of, yeah, right? Like, who says it has to be constructive interference? It could be destructive interference. Also, would they have a beard or not? Because that's kind of important. Would the dwarf beard genes? Because technically, elves are capable of growing facial hair.
Hmm.
They just choose not to for most of their lives. But Círdan had a full beard. He wasn't even the oldest elf in Middle Earth, and he had a full beard.
Sorry. I'm just imagining in the fucking, in the Hobbit movies, there was that one dwarf. I can't remember which one it was. It was either Feely or Keely. I think it was Keely.
It was Keely, yeah.
Had like the fucking elf fetish.
Yes.
I'm just imagining him seeing like the tallest, most slender elf from behind, going, "Oh my god!" Turning around, full dwarf face and beard. Oh no! And one of the other dwarves going, "Yes, ma'am."
That is how that would go. But, like, what would we know what human elf hybrids are like. They tend to take the best of both worlds. What does a hobbit elf hybrid look like? And here's the real question: given the fact that they're all technically designed to be compatible, can Ents just that? Can Ents?
I'm not sure we. No, that's a lie. We almost certainly somewhere, in some appendices somewhere, learn how Ents procreate.
I mean, it requires male and female Ents. So it is sexual reproduction. I'm not even saying that to be gross. That's
Yeah,
just
no. That's, yeah.
They do reproduce sexually.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
And you know that with how flower child elves are, probably. All I'm saying is, male elves are kind of wild. One of them has to have boned down with an Ent wife at some point. Do you think that's where the wood elves came from? Do you think Legolas is the result of one of his ancestors banging an Ent?
would that explain Thranduil's like fucking superiority complex or what?
It might, actually.
Also, I saw a funny Tumblr post of like because of the way he was obviously taught by fucking Bilbo, he's probably speaking like fucking Shakespearean type Elvish, whereas Legolas might be talking fucking like rough Cockney Elvish, which is funny to me.
So if it was anyone but Legolas, I would agree with you. But the problem is that Legolas is kind of designed to be the gentlemanly elf, so I have to admit he's pretty posh.
Mm. Do you think Elrond is fucking breaking out that Cockney rhyming slang?
I think he would as a joke with Bilbo.
No,
But, like,
here's the thing. I feel like Elrond was the one who taught Bilbo like the super posh archaic Elvish as a jape.
That's also a perfectly valid point, yes.
But yeah, maybe that's why like fucking maybe that's why Legolas and Frodo like never talk. Because, like, at one point, Frodo was like, hey, I'm gonna talk to Legolas in his native language, maybe make him feel a little bit better about having to leave home on this, you know, essentially suicidal quest. And he just came out with the most, like, archaic prose that Legolas barely understood. And so just, like, I'm not gonna talk to him anymore because I don't understand this little hobbit. Help.
I do find it very funny to think about the idea that Legolas is probably like the youngest elf in Middle Earth.
Yeah, I think we've discussed this before.
And so, do you think they sent him with the Fellowship because he was kicking up a fuss about not being allowed to sit at the grown-ups table?
I'm trying to remember something because I feel like I have seen something that was like Thranduil sent Legolas because Legolas was being like a shit about something in a good way. I mean, because Thranduil is, you know, kind of a dick.
Kind of?
I don't want to judge too harshly. We
but
were
yeah,
we were seeing it from the perspective of dwarves and dwarf sympathizers.
That is a fair point, actually.
I'm not going to say he wasn't entirely a dick, but, you know, some of that was definitely, you know, colored.
Do you think Radagast doesn't actually speak Elvish?
Maybe that's why he stays in the woods.
No, maybe he doesn't speak Elvish, but because he speaks animal fluently, he can just, like, pretend elves are an animal and use his magic to get by.
I have another thought. Intelligent enough animal having to translate. An animal that's lived in, like, fucking, in like, the Mirkwood and does actually, can actually understand Elvish, is having to translate for Radagast.
Okay, that's really funny. I like the idea of that.
Yeah, no, that's a new headcanon.
Did we ever get an explanation for Bjorn?
I don't remember. We must have. Again, it's Tolkien.
Would you like to know my headcanon?
Go on.
Radagast did some shrooms and then did a bear.
So we've got the headcanon that the what is it? The Tooks are the result of Gandalf fucking a hobbit. Now
yes.
We've got the theory that Bjorn is the result of Radagast fucking a bear. Who did Saruman fuck, or is that why he turned evil?
Counterpoint. Grima Wormtongue is Saruman's son. Alternatively, so here's the thing. Who would Saruman have boned down with? Because he would think himself above boning down with anything but an elf, really.
Yeah.
Do you think Saruman's the one who banged an Entwife?
Maybe. Maybe that's why the Entwives went away. Saruman got jealous.
I mean, he did live right next to... He didn't, like, get into a dick measuring contest with Fangorn Forest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Saruman fucked an Entwife. Maybe that was why he lost hope as well, because the Entwives went away.
So we're learning that the Entwives were a much more pivotal part of the lore than we might have expected.
Mm.
Now, as much as I'd love to gush about endlessly about that, are there other series where people... Do you think it's possible for there to be where people can get away with as
Okay, I didn't hear much of that.
Do you think there's another series where... Do you think... Hang on 1 second, I'll be right back. I'll be right back 1 second.
I wonder who the Blue Wizards fucked. Because clearly it was something good if they abandoned that duty.
Dragons.
Not impossible.
Because, like...
Oh, no.
The Blue Wizards went to the area that is implied to have later become East Asia.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result...
Oh, they were fucking those Ghibli dragons.
Yeah, the Long Boys.
Also, I need you to know that I was then imagining fucking, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch in the weird...
Doing fucking dirty talk and sex stuff.
And, was he wearing the mocap suit?
No, it wasn't Benedict Cumberbatch himself, it was the dragon, but just with the, you know, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Now, I was picturing just Benedict Cumberbatch in the mocap suit. Do you think there has been a game thus far that mocaps the you-know-what? The bits? We have the technology.
I mean, how many games actually, like... I mean, I know Baldur's Gate did it. Does anything else do it?
Which is... I think mostly it's Baldur's Gate and the GTAs, I guess.
I don't think the GTA even goes into that, though.
They do occasionally have it, like...
Yeah, okay.
It's not as ever-present as... I do like the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 really went all in on the fact that they just were like, hey, you don't have to make the mods.
Yeah.
We will put it in the game for you. And they went, like, the whole 9 yards. Like, all gender, all the time. Like, just, it's great.
I wish I could get more into Baldur's Gate 3. I really do.
What's putting you off?
It's long. There's a lot of choices that I'm very bad. I'm bad with choices, probably.
Yeah, I think the issue with a game like Baldur's Gate 3, I am the type of person, and join me in saying this for reasons of mental illness. I'm the type of person who prefers one perfect playthrough to a bunch of imperfect playthroughs.
I mean, with Baldur's Gate 3, I just don't have the fucking time.
It is a big, big, big commitment. It's too much.
Like, I will probably go back to it at some point, but I just don't know. I
Me
mean,
too. I never got past Act 1.
I got into the start of Act 2, but then I was doing the Karlach stuff and it bugged a little bit and I had to fix it and that sort of killed it for me.
Yeah, for me, especially because I like to mod the hell out of it, and especially now that mods are natively supported in the game proper, it's just so much more appealing to me to just, like, try a million different things. I think I've done the tutorial ship sections, like, far too many times, to the point that they need to add, like, there's a mod for it, obviously, and one that you can get easily enough, but they need to add an option to just skip the tutorial.
Yeah.
I've done it so many times. Not that I'm necessarily complaining, because it's a fun tutorial.
Yeah.
And it's a good tutorial too, but, like, after I've done it so many times, it's just a bit much.
I'm gonna honestly find interesting how I do with Veilguard when it comes out. Because obviously it is in this vein of probably, you know, quite a long RPG, but obviously I have a lot more investment with Dragon Age than I do with a lot of these series that I have started and then put off.
It's funny how that happens, isn't it? It's just a simple matter of right place, right time.
Yeah, I will finish God of War Ragnarok at some point. I don't know when, but I will.
I have thoughts on the general structure of Baldur's Gate 3. It feels a bit more open-ended than it necessarily has to be. Sometimes too open is just as bad as too narrow. I like it, don't get me wrong. It's just that sometimes you want a bit more of that structure.
That's another thing I've just remembered. At the end of the day, I don't like playing RPGs with keyboard and mouse. I just don't. It's just not my thing. So, you know, part of me is like, okay, well, I'm gonna probably have to restart at this stage again for, like, second or third time and do it on keyboard, not on keyboard, on controller. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm very torn, because I like open-ended games. I like open-world, non-linear stuff. But at the same time, it's... Do you know what's funny? I know people complain about the Ubisoft-style 10 billion map markers and things to do. But
I like having that. I really do.
I kind of do appreciate it, yeah. One of the games I was considering as a stream game was Ghostwire Tokyo. I played a good chunk of it off stream,
Mm-hmm.
but it's one of those games where we can do story stuff when the story stuff comes up, but it also works as a chatting game when you just like explore the world on its
Yeah.
own
Mm-hmm.
and just like unlock waypoints and stuff like that. So it does both.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
I think I had it for a bit, and then, or I had it downloaded for a bit, wanting to play, and then Game Pass took it off. So.
Yeah, it was free on the Epic Game Store. That's where I got it.
Okay.
You really should be
I know. I just.
checking Epic Game Store more often. They like it's not just like little indie stuff that goes for
Yeah.
free. Stuff like Ghostwire Tokyo, Death Stranding, a lot of big stuff gets put on EGS for free.
I'm sure it does. I just. Yeah.
But yeah, it was free on Epic Game Store, so I can just play it from there. That's good because it was taken off of. I was playing it on Game Pass initially, and there was a you know what's funny? I played the entire first half of the game thinking that the main character was deaf. And thinking it was a stylistic choice.
Mm.
That voices were muffled or inaudible.
Yeah.
Turns out it was an audio bug.
Okay. that is very funny.
Well, here's the thing. Every other piece of audio up to and including the dialogue in certain scenes was perfectly crisp and clear and audible. It was just when someone was speaking to the main character, it sounded muffled or inaudible. So I was like, oh, is this a stylistic choice where the main character is deaf and they show that by muffling the audio of the people speaking? Because the subtitles were showing up too. So it's like...
Yeah.
So you can understand, like, it was an honest mistake. There's a lot of games that do that sort of fancy schmancy stylistic decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also something very satisfying about just like backshotting Slender Man, if you know what I'm saying.
And with that, we're nearing 2 hours, so we should probably call it. I think backshotting Slender Man is as good a place to end as any.
Really, it's the only place we should have ended.
If nothing else, you know, it's on brand for us, especially when it's us two streaming. Considering we talked for, I would say, 5-10 minutes about fucking the fucking habits of the inhabitants of Middle Earth.
And we've established Gandalf hobbits, Radagast bear, Saruman Entwives, and the Blue Wizard's dragons. Of the Eastern variety.
So yes, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. It's up to future stuff. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sundays with the chance of a rogue stream here and there. Saturday is the Fall 2024 anime premiere stream, so look forward to that. Please do give us a follow here on Twitch, or if you're watching on YouTube, all that like, comment, subscribe, a bell icon.
I was gonna do it. You could have just sent it over to me, and I would have done it.
I've been having to do it because of the solo streams I've been doing recently. So you know what? Fuck my dignity.
We never had any in the first place.
I like to pretend. But yes, please do all that stuff. It would be very helpful to us. And otherwise, hopefully, we shall see you on Saturday to talk about some anime. Good night.
Bye bye.